Hello! Happy Tuesday. It is Pi Day, as Tuesdays. So often are. Last week we made some good progress on the way to Pi-Psi 3. I'm standing here next to phosphate glass. Phosphate glass is part of getting all of the remaining alien life things done. So we need phosphate glass for the latest iterations of codices, as well as for the Dilmo pools. So once we have those done, that's one of the things that's blocking that. But we also need great alien samples, which are running slowly. I might end up just hand delivering some great alien samples to the mall. I'm not sure if I want to wait for how long it's going to take to get a full train load of those. I know I did something up here too. Oh, I didn't label it though. What is this? Ah, right. We redid our guts voiding so that we can now void guts to any of hydrochloric acid, acetic acid, or the chlorine that we already had. And when this is full like this, yeah, this is no longer requesting guts. So the guts that were delivered here are going to decay, but that's fine because it's a void anyway, so I don't mind if some decay. But the way I designed these, and that one looks like it's working, so I'm going to assume these ones are going to work too. They should request less and less guts as these tanks are more and more full. So it'll like auto balance which stations can actually handle based on our demand for, pardon me, got a frog in my throat there. Based on our demand for the two different acids or chlorine directly. So hopefully that solves our guts problem. We might still have a meat problem. We're going to have to keep an eye on everything going on here. But for now, we're keeping up. Yeah, we are keeping up. I did notice, I think last week, that we have a lot of brains. We're sitting on a lot of brains. So that tells me that it may be time to think about upgrading to Vat Brain Cartridge Mark IIs. Because, like... Oh, these only stack to 50. Oh, this is wrong. This needs to be a 5K, not a 10K. Okay. Whoops. So this has been requesting extra brains, and they're just going to decay here and be gotten rid of. But yeah, we should think about moving over to Vat Brain Cartridge Mark IIs, which I am researching. Because these just take one more cartridge, or take the Mark I cartridge, some more glass, fetal serum. I mean, it's all stuff we have. We might have to scale those things up a little bit, but bumping our research productivity will be fantastic. And then, yeah, it still uses 20 per second. Or no, 1 every 20 seconds. Very different things. So today, I do want us to get all the alien life stuff bootstrapped. So like I was saying, I might want to move, hand deliver some great alien samples and maybe even some phosphate glass up to the mall. And then after that, after we've got the alien life stuff going, we'll have to check YAFC. I was looking at YAFC a little bit before I started streaming. And I made no decisions. So what I really should do, now that I'm thinking about this, is maybe we should do some infrastructure work. I've been putting this off for months and months, but where we're making asphalt right now, just like literally cannot get the asphalt onto a train. So, ooh, I do have a spare station up at Frog Food, which is not, or I could actually just make this longer. No, one more full segment would be what? Yeah, that would interfere. But yeah, if we can get the bitumen to, or the asphalt to, yeah, honestly, this doesn't even really act as a bitumen void anymore because we're using bitumen for other things. So I think we should just get asphalt on rails, and then I can bring asphalt into the mall. I can make it part of my normal requests. I can update all of my blueprints to include asphalt. And then from now on, anytime I build chunks of rails, they will automatically be paved. And I should have done this a very, very long time ago, but I did not. And there we go. We're making all the codexes now. Fantastic. We should be making the Dilmo pools as well. Yeah. I probably didn't bring enough glass to make all of those Dilmo pools, but that's okay. We only need a few of them to bootstrap. And then, yeah, let's get asphalt into rails. I think that's worth doing. And then we'll figure it out from there. I think I can get rid of all the weird priorities around this and just say that asphalt is a normal priority thing that we just want to be making. Yeah, everything around here is a mess. Okay. Because we got this output for coal bed gas. And that's taking up the spot that I'd really like to be the asphalt output. So then here, yeah. All right. Am I going to wait for the bots to bring me these last, like, 20 landfill? I guess. May as well. Maybe not. When I can see them and they're close to me, I'll wait for them, but I'm not just going to wait around for 4 landfill. So yeah, once we get landfill on rails, we'll be able to bring it into the mall. We'll add it to our normal requests. I want to update all of our... words. Update all of our blueprints to have asphalt under the rails. Let's see. I think we're looking right over here. There's Vrock Food, and I said we were going to put the output on Vrock Food. Hey, our first Domo. Let me get a screenshot of that. Okay. So a pickup station here. Think I'm gonna reverse the direction of this. Yeah. It's kind of bad no matter which way I go with it, so... And the first Scrondrix. All right. And we're sitting on a bunch of asphalt right now, so we're going to have to do something about that. Mostly, I think, use it. One of these stations somewhere... Okay, I just put mixed landfill in with other normal stuff that I was requesting. Do I change that? I don't know. For now, no. For now, asphalt gets the same treatment. Wow, apparently I had like 6,000 asphalt in storage that I didn't even know about. And then we're going to add it to my requests to always keep a couple of stacks on me at all times. All right, let's go pave some stuff. Not this way. South? South. There's a few places around the base that aren't well paved because I got I ran out of asphalt and never went and got more. So until while we're waiting for stuff to happen up at the rest of the mall, we may as well get things paved. Oh, shoot. Oh, well. I made that one tile too tall, apparently. Wasn't paying close enough attention. It's hard to tell with the... Yeah, that's definitely... Well, we can go down to one tile. 2 tiles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Oop, don't want to leave the bots behind. All right. And then, in theory here... Guess I usually do... Just to make it a little easier for me to round corners. Obviously, once I get everything, get the blueprints updated, we're not going to have to manually paste that stuff around anymore. And I think that's it. As far as, well, the major areas down here. There's a little bit up here that needs to be paved, and this side over here where the glass is, I never paved. So all that still needs to get done. Oh, and apparently a stretch along here. Cool. I don't know if I want to go do that now, though. I might want to make some actual progress. But let's update our blueprints at least so that everything is paved moving forward. So starting here, and then let's see, open this, select new contents, pop, keep the entities, keep the tiles, save blueprint. And then we do the same thing with the other ones. I'm trying to make sure I do this where there isn't any water, because I don't want to end up with landfill tiles. Oh, and that's landfill. That's exactly what I said I didn't want to have happen. Is there a drier area nearby that I can go to? Yeah, there's a big dry spot over here. Let's go over there. That should work fine. I should have done this, like many things in this base, a long time ago. How do I have this set up? This sticks out on both sides? That can't be correct. Well, maybe it's fine. I don't think it actually matters. I don't really rely on the tiling. Maybe I should, but blueprint saved. All right, that looks correct. Select new. Wait, sorry. What do I have this hanging off the right? Hanging off the bottom. Okay. It seems like it's mostly figured out the alignment every time I do this, so... And then I shouldn't actually have to rip up the tiles for this one. Because what I should be able to do is take the clover leaf and put it in... the same spot. Did I go one tile too far? I might have gone one tile too far in the other. Oops. Oh, I did. How do I cancel? If I just close this, does that cancel? Yeah, discard changes. Not the cloverleaf, the trumpet. Yeah, I want to take this last row off the bottom. Save blueprint. There we go. And then if we grab... Oh, I can't really copy and paste that, can I? Okay. Okay, there we go. Select new contents and done. And that should, from now on, we're never going to have to repave anything ever again. What it does mean is that we're going to use a lot more landfill when we pave over, or when we run rails over, like, bodies of water. Because we're going to need the landfill to put all the pavement back in place. I'm trying to help the bots here. All right. So, hopefully, I mean, we do still have a little bit of unpaved stuff on the west side of the base, as I mentioned, but no more repaving things after the fact. That is officially a thing of the past. All right. Let's see where we're at with our critters. We've got 2 Scrondrixes. We've got 2 Dilmos. We're still short a lot of Dilmo pools, which I expected to be the case. Yeah. We just have to wait for more phosphate glass for those, which is running. So we'll get a real delivery of phosphate glass, not just the stuff that I brought over by hand eventually. So I think this means that we can do... what are they called? Dingrits? Yeah, dingrits. So we'll allow list those on the creature chambers. And then if I add We should just need 2, right? Well, do we need them in the repro complex loop? Let me see what YAFC says here. No, they're not used as an input. Let me make sure that's true for the other ones as well. And it is... Yeah. So I just need 1 in the reproductive complex. So if I say we want 2 of these, that should get dispatched out. We might need to enable the DNA samples and the codex. Allow wolf DNA samples. Yep. And that also needs the codex, which is made in normal assembly stuff. Dinger codex. And then that'll have gotten assigned here. Here. Yeah, and that's the same as the other codexes. Okay. So that one also needs phosphate glass, so it's not going to run until we get another... Get a little bit more of the phosphate glass. Excuse me. And then... We should be good there. So I think that means that I can build Dilmos and Scrondrixes. And Dingrits need Scrondrixes as an input. So I have to get Scrondrixes, like, really running anyway. I'm just double checking that I accounted for Scrondrix input to it's not the propeptide. Yeah, here we go. 0.067, and then the Dingrits need 0.11. 0.11, so that's like 0.177. And we're sitting at 0.17 exactly. Do we go up to 3 Scrondrix pens just to be on the safe side? I feel like we go up to 3 Scrondrix pens just to be on the safe side. In which case, let me... There we go. 0.25. Did that increase the number of automated factories we need for tree seeds? I wasn't paying close enough attention. From 1.95 to, yes, 2.86. We still can get by with just 1 barreling machine. So it's 1 more automated factory, 1 more Scrondrix pen, and 2 more prod modules. All right, and that'll take just a minute for those buildings to get made. There's nothing particularly unusual about the Scrondrix pens, so that's fine. And then it might take a little while once we get the Scrondrix built before we're ready to do Dingrits, just because there's a lot of we have to make a lot of Scrondrixes. We have to let them get fully up to speed. And then Dilmos also, well, we still need another 20 Dilmo pools. Okay. And that's just waiting on phosphate glass, which is 3/4 of the way to a delivery. Okay, that's fine. Phosphate glass is kind of intentionally built at a fairly low scale because we really only need it for making machines. And the only reason we're really waiting for it now is because we just set it up last session, so it hasn't had time to buffer. Once phosphate glass buffers, we're never going to really be thinking about it as far as making buildings. It's a lot of niobium that goes into these things. Okay, while we're waiting for that, is there anything else we can be thinking about or looking at? Not really. If we flip back to YAFC here, I was thinking about the state of this and everything that needs to go into PyScience 3 and trying to decide what my decay threshold is for things that I want to make on site versus make somewhere else. Because obviously the more we make on site, the more we're belting into the research center, like the more of a pain in the butt it will be when we want to scale this up when we get to the next tier of science and we need to make more of these. So that's something that I'm thinking about. And like, I mean, Cridrins don't matter. With a 10-hour decay, I would normally say I especially don't care. But it's a 1-to-1 recipe, so like it doesn't really matter whether we do this one on site or not. Propolis decays in 13 minutes, so this one we have to do on site with the science pack, and that's obnoxious. Gas bladders are 4 hours. We could maybe put these ones on rails. Nanofibrils don't decay. None of this decays. Doesn't decay. The bio ore decays. So we might end up... decays in an hour. We might end up wanting to put advanced substrate into onto rails instead, even though we don't need advanced substrate for anything other than bio-ore. But then we just use then we can make the bio-ore on site. But I'll have to think about that, like what our consumption is and how close to decayed is it going to be when it gets shipped. Because if we're easily using it within an hour, but at 0.13 a second in an hour, that's what? 0.13 per second, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour. Yeah, that's only 500 things an hour, which is way below train delivery threshold. And that means that we have to make it on site. That's just the way the math works out. Is in an hour we won't make enough of this to ship. Okay. How does that work out with the gas bladders then? Because that might have the same problem. Yeah, that has the same problem, where I don't think in an hour we're making a full delivery of them. So we might end up having to do... Oh, I hate to do that on site. Oh, no, we have 4 hours. We have 4 hours for these. Sorry. Yeah, that's 2... So this will do a delivery about every 2 hours. So that's fine with a 4-hour decay. Okay, I'm okay with that then. But the Biowar's not going to be enough. And I think that's it as far as stuff that decays. So obviously the Negasium is on site. The Cridrin cortexes doesn't really matter one way or the other, but we may as well do them on site because it's 1-to-1. The Propolis is on site because 13-minute decay. The gas bladders will do at Central Animal Processing. That's great. And the Biowar we have to do on site. Everything else, I think, sort of as we discussed it last time, it all remains the same. Okay, cool. Oh, the bots are still emptying out all of this asphalt. Excellent. Almost done? Sorta. What else do I want as far as... upgrading... I assume we're going to need this advanced rare earth at some point. Although it seems like it's not used right now. I mean, I could just push through all of the techs that I haven't taken, right? Which I think is kind of what I decided to do last time. I was just like, you know what? I should just run them all, because it doesn't matter. And just get caught up on the tech tree. So let's do that. Let's just get caught up on the tech tree. I'm skipping. Skipping weapons and anything that needs military science, because I still don't have military science released. Released? Researched. That's the word I meant. And are we almost done with the asphalt here? Maybe, maybe, maybe? I'm going to say we actually want 3 stacks. Changed my mind. All right, bots, all that asphalt that you took away, bring it back. Just because I know how much asphalt we're going to be putting down, like, relative to how many rails we keep in stock. And we're going to want, you know, for every 2 rails on a straight segment, we're putting down 16 asphalt. So if we have 1.2K rails, we want more asphalt than this to be able to place it all. Yeah. So it would be more like 20,000 asphalt, but I don't know if I want that many stacks dedicated to asphalt in my inventory at a time. Oh, it would really help if I had actually picked up the Dilmos and the Scrondrix stuff instead of talking about it and then leaving it behind at the mall. Not the Dingrits, they're not ready yet. Well, Dilmos really aren't ready, but we'll start Scrondrixes. Let's do Scrondrixes. Scrondrixen? Is it like oxen? So I'm putting Scrondrixes down here with all the rest of our new alien life stuff from this tier. Yeah, it's definitely going to take the bots a little bit more time to build everything out now. But it's worth it. It's so worth it. So Scrondrixes have 1 input station and 1 output station? Really? That's it? All right, I'll take that. Ba-da-ba-bum. So input-wise, we're going to bring in Phawagy. We're going to bring in logs. We're going to bring in Yotoi Aloe. Also, I just realized I lied and we are going to have more stations. Because the Yotoi can decay and the meat can decay. So I need room for 2 potential byproduct outs. Okay, what am I doing here? That's all fine. I need a decider combinator. Decider, there they are. And this is gonna say when Phawagy is present and logs are present and Yotoi is present and Scrondrixen are less than, what are these stacked to? 50, so 5K. Then output meat at minus 30 stacks. There we go. So as soon as everything else gets delivered, this should request the meat. In theory. And then I do need to have a jerky output. Jerky. And this is a byproduct, so high priority. Not that jerky is ever not a byproduct, but, you know. Consistency. So that part should be good. Oh, I need barrels. I didn't grab barrels. Let's run back to the mall and grab barrels. And we'll come right back down. Now that all of this is paved, it really doesn't take that... Oh, need to fix this. It really doesn't take that long to get through here. Oh, of course, the bots are going to want to refill my... Yeah, as suspected, we went through that asphalt very, very quickly. I mean, maybe the number needs to be 10K. I hate to use up that many slots, but... How's Dilmo's doing? We're still waiting for phosphate glass. Is phosphate glass still running? Yeah, okay. Oh, the delivery should be on its way. Excellent. Oh yeah, look at that. On the way. And there's plenty in storage. Cool. So once we're done with the Scrondrix build, we should be able to come back here and grab the machines for Dilmos. Those should be good to go. All right, now that I have barrels, we can finish up the Scrondrix build. All right, this should be requesting meat now. It is. And there's even a meat delivery en route. Okay, so the clock is ticking to get this build done. So the Scrondrix cubs and let's see. Oh, this is as always the situation with this. We've got water barrels, tree seeds, meat, and fawaji. The leaves need just to go to the Scrondrix. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is we'll drop in the repro complex. This is gonna make Scrondrix cubs, and it gets one module because that's all we're starting with. I think I'm going to put tree seeds and water barrels on a belt together because they're used in like identical amounts and they're shared across, well, not quite identical, but they're shared between the reproductive complex and the Scrondrixes. Meat I'll put on its own belt because that needs to be a sushi belt to deal with decay. And then everything else... Well, everything else is the fawaji for the reproductive complex and the yotoi leaves for the Scrondrix themselves. Okay. So the fawaji can come right out the top. Actually going to go up here with it. Oh, and it is ad break o'clock. I'm going to step away and get a little bit of water while the ad runs. I recommend everyone else do the same. Hydrate, take care of yourselves as humans. And when we're back, we'll keep going with this build. I'll see everyone soon. Welcome back. Thanks for hanging around. Okay, we are setting up Scrondrixes. So we've got Phawagy into here. I wanted to do, right, the tree seeds and the water barrels. Let's get that done. So this is going to be logs. I'm just going to bring this way down here so I have plenty of room to work. So that's a wood processing unit. Pulling in what? Oh, 0.5 logs a second. Okay, sure. And then that outputs to 3 automated factories doing tree seeds from logs. I'm still not sure how that works. All that is prodded. So that goes through there. The other side of this is going to be water barrels. So we're going to grab a barreling machine. And we're putting out 2 1/4 water barrels per second. That's fine. Power everything. And our first dingrit. Excellent. What did I miss? Logs here. All right. So this uses, of the stuff on that belt, 2.6 items a second. Okay. That is a blue inserter. I think with hand size, the blue inserter's fine there. And then... yeah, we need a meat belt. Okay. I'm actually gonna give this a little bit more room. So we're going to have a belt coming in here for meat. And then we also need to output potential decay. Jerky there. In the pens. Here, let's leave room for a second one of these, even though we don't have it yet. And then the pens. It's going to be the same thing. Wait, 1.33 is not right there when this is at full speed, is it? It's going to be more than that. Oh, dear. Okay. I might need more inserters off of this inner belt, which would just be like one more power pole here. I'll deal with that when I have to. And then this is also going to grab off of this inner belt because these also need tree seeds and water barrels. And then here, we output meat. And we prefer to keep the loop looping. And these output meat, but they'll also, or output jerky and also biocrud. So that's going to be the, both decay products of this can output to the same belt. And then when I pull that this way, we can just split this here, pushing jerky to the left. All right, so all the decay from this will end up here, and I just need to output meat to this belt. Cool. So what is left to do? We've got to output from these. Yeah, these have their outputs. Which is, well, including barrels, actually quite a bit. 2.5 items a second. Okay. These will output barrels and Scrondrix cubs. We'll filter out the barrels, I guess. Yes, because we're going to need... This belt is going to get something else merged onto it, effectively, which is the last missing ingredient here, the yotoi leaves. Which, it would be nice, actually, to have that be a sushi belt, too. But I'm running out of space, so we're not gonna. So yeah, this will bring in cubs and the yotoi leaves. And then we're going to have an output that is barrels and grown Scrondrixes, because we're already outputting both decay products out the bottom. So then barrels here. Let's do this. This needs something to pull off any bio crud. Since we're not doing a sushi belt, we need to clean out the end of the thing. And then I'm putting this under and merging it onto the inside of the belt, because this is the side that's not going to have meat on it. So that's where we always will have space for decay products to fit. Will be on that side of the belt. And then this output comes all the way down here. And we'll split out the empty barrels. And then this belt will have the Scrondrixes on it, and those come right up here to an output. Cool. That wasn't so bad. Oh, this isn't right. Because this does have to come through to there. Which means the output actually needs to be like there. But everything else is the same. Everything has power. I want to cut this belt here for now, because I don't want the Scrondrix cubs to go down to the end and get fed into these machines where they're not going to be useful. This needs to be here. I need water, which I didn't really plan for. I never do. I always just assume I can get water, which is a bad assumption. It has bitten me in the butt before, but it's not so bad in this case. One pump is plenty. One pump is plenty. A tenth of a pump is plenty, as it turns out. And then here, I need to be getting meat out. Just 1 1/4 a second. Okay. So that's plenty. And that is on the wrong side. Now that's on the right side. Well, the left side. The correct side. Because again, I want the outer lane of the loop to be the meat so that the inner lane is space for decay products. All right, here is BioCrud. And then I need one more pickup station for the actual Scrondrixes out. Oh, I don't have the Yotoi leaves yet. That'll matter. Let me just finish getting the output hooked up here. We're making 1/4 of a Scrondrix a second. Okay. And the Yotoi leaves then also need to make their way up here. 0.2 Yotoi aloe. Okay. That's fine. That's a small amount. Let's see. Let's zoom this right up here. All right, so that'll work. I probably want to turn this off at some point because the leaves decay, just like we stop bringing in meat past a certain point. But, like, it's fine for now. Wait, how do I have Scrondrix pups on both sides of this belt? Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay, that's fine. I'll just put them in by hand. All right, well, every Scrondrix that we get out of this, and we do get a bunch of them from one. Okay, cool. So after just a couple of recipes, we're going to have enough, but they're very slow recipes. We might need more power soon. I'll leave that. And then, yeah, scaling this up, we can drop in another repro complex whenever we need it. And then easily add more Scrondrix pens. So we can double this without even really thinking about it, if we so desire. We can more than double it, actually. We can go up to... Looking at YAFC, it looks like we could go up to 10/3 of our 1/4 a second, which is a stupid number. That's 0.833. Yep, and that is indeed. It would be a lot of seeds and a lot of wood. We'd have to scale up some of that stuff, but... So I'm not worried about being able to scale these up when we need to. Is this good? Are we done? I think what I need to do temporarily here is put a thing here and have this run out to here. And what that'll do is, because I've got this belt shortened, so we're only running this machine, any Yotoi leaves that decay, we need to push them out to the output belt. We're just not doing that right now. Okay, I think this is good. Don't see anything wrong with it. I think... Yeah, we'll bring back 250 barrels. We'll leave 750. Because that seems like enough in the loop. And then I'll just have to come back here at some point in some number of minutes. Because, yeah, this takes 2.5 minutes divided by 0.384. So like 7 minutes before this first recipe is going to be done, although it's halfway done. But still, that would be waiting around here for like 3 or 4 minutes, and we're not doing that. Not when we have Dilmos to work on. So I think we can just run up to the mall and grab the stuff for Dilmos. Making good progress today. We should have gotten all of the Dilmo pools by now, I'm hoping. Yes, we've got 33 of them. We've got a couple of Dilmos to bootstrap with. We are good. I'm actually going to request one more, because I like even numbers of things. And yeah, one of these shouldn't be... Well, we're waiting for the bots to get assigned, but we have all of this stuff in storage. And the bots are not currently being assigned because they all got assigned to bring me thousands and thousands of asphalt and are currently all recharging. Ugh. This is the problem with deciding that I always want asphalt in stock. Unfortunately. Like, in theory, it's no worse than the landfill, but we just go through so much more asphalt than landfill on any given, like, building trip that this is going to happen pretty consistently. Yeah, we have no logistic bots. And that might just mean that we need more logistics bots. Like, we only have 5,000 bots. Only. But if it is regularly the case when I come up here that we need deliveries of 7,000 asphalt, then I need 7,000 bots for it to happen in a reasonable period of time. That's just gonna be a part of the situation. Oh, looking at this demo sheet, I just remembered. I decided I didn't want to do wastewater to urea everywhere anymore. Because there was something that I could maybe use wastewater for, although now I don't know what. I don't know why I thought I would want to centralize it. Oh, because I was thinking about maybe wanting to have it available for logs. Upgrading to the log recipe that uses wastewater instead of muddy sludge. And in order to do that, obviously, we'd have to get wastewater from more than just Dilmos. But did I actually make a centralized wastewater to urea? No. Okay. So that's a thing that I do need to set up. And I want to think about scaling that to, like, the scale of our actual wastewater production. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up, and I don't know how to search for. I don't think I can search for a page where wastewater is just like a thing that exists in the processing chain. I guess I can search for urea in extra products. Yeah, zipper eggs, Xiaphos, train fuel. Oh, look at that. Wastewater to urea. Yep. I just want to make sure that when I'm building this wastewater processing, that we're scaling it for, like, how much wastewater we actually have. Trits, cotton gut studs. A little bit of wastewater. Okay, that's a trickle. I don't care about that one. Zyes and zip eggs. Okay, so what are we at? 35 plus 114. That's 150. Plus 20 is 170. Plus 50 is 220. Plus 12 and a half is 235. Plus another 35 is 270. Plus Dilmos are at 25. So call the whole thing. We're at like 300 wastewater right now. I'm rounding up at every step, obviously. So 300 should be plenty. I mean, sure. And then we'll make this a little bit bigger even, because... There we go. 400 a second, 6 evaporators. That's easy. And then obviously all the places where we're currently have wastewater to urea outputs, we have to go around and fix all of those. But for now, we can import this blueprint. The bots are still bringing me asphalt. We don't need the barrels anymore. Don't need this shopping list as a blueprint anymore. We do have the 34 Dilmos here. Yeah. Oh, nope. Only 30. Did I just miscount? I thought I saw that had 30. Okay, here. I'm surprised that didn't get crafted, but we want exactly 34 of these. Let the bots bring it to me. Now we have to wait for the bots to bring all the stuff back up to that other Domo pool. I don't see it getting made. Did it get crafted and then just not deliver? Oh, delivered? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. All right. Yeah, everything's en route. Ugh. Yeah, it would have been here. I'm just queuing up, again, literally every tech, because why not? There's not that many that are behind us. Ooh, transport belt capacity 4. Stacking up to 5. Oh no, that's in the next science tier. Never mind, we're not quite there yet. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here that we can grab. And evaporators, we're waiting for one more, and we're waiting for our Dilmo pool. Small parts are on the way. Yay, okay. Now we can go set up Dilmos. And these are going to the southeast along with all the other, like, new AL stuff. It's all been down there, so we're going to keep putting it down there. I guess on our way by, we'll double check some things. Arthurians, still running, still slow. Yep. Cridrins, running. Plenty of those for our first delivery. Cool. These guys, we should have some in the output. Turn off my legs so I can actually pick them up from this belt. 5. Yep, 5. That's how many we get per recipe. All right, well, this should be quite a bit faster now. God, I'm so slow. Although, technically... I think this is faster. to spread out the modules rather than to maximize one of them. Because they all have a baseline speed. So one of these with 6 modules is running at speed 7, whereas each of these with 3 modules is running at speed 3, so it's effectively speed 9. And actually, 9/7 is a meaningful bump in speed, so I'll take that. Trumpet to the south. And we'll go ahead and get Dilmos set up. This is going to be a big build, so... So for Dilmos, we have fluid inputs, we have solid inputs, we have the Dilmos out, and we have wastewater out. So that's 4 stations. Okay. We do have this tin ore here. I think everything else is pretty much not in the way. Yeah, just this potential tin ore rock that's going to get in the way. All right. Wasn't there another one here? Did I just accidentally ore delete one of the rocks? Well, I can't control Z or eraser, so oops if I did. I may have cheated, but Pi hard mode has a setting that lets you make the ore rocks permanent. They never expire, at the cost of them being impossible to construct over, and I have that turned on. So I use ore eraser for aesthetics to get rid of like the ore patches that I'm building over, but I try not to erase the ore rocks because there is an intentional difficulty setting there that I chose, and if I just ore erase those, then I'm kind of bypassing that. And I swear I thought there was another rock here, so I might have clipped it with the corner when I was clearing out that other patch, but I don't remember for sure, and I don't know how to undo it, so... we're just going to roll with it. Input here, we need Relesia seeds. We need filtration media. And that's it. Everything else is a fluid. And phytoplankton. Cool. And then all the extra stuff at this end. That looks good. So we've got one reproductive complex making Dilmo eggs. And then... oh, I need one more Dilmo. This is a 3-tiered setup, and I only got 2 cubs. I can probably shuffle around my 2 Dilmos to make this work. It's annoying, but I'll do it. Because, yeah, I need 1 in the repro complex to make an egg. I need 1 in here making the cubs. And then I need 1 in here raising the cubs. And I only grabbed 2. Anyway, let's get this going. We're gonna have... Wait, where's the reproductive center? Did I not have a Oh, my bots probably put it down here, didn't they? Nice try, bots. You thought you could confuse me and make my life more difficult. You're probably right. Okay, reproductive center. Making Dilmo eggs. So this needs just filtration media from here. And it needs, yeah, 0.16 a second. That is fine with 1 inserter. More than fine, actually. Here, let's use the cheaper inserter. And then out comes the egg. That feeds into, and that does also mean that I don't need 34 of these because of the way their layout works. Comes into this machine, making a Dilmo cub. And then that comes out on the other side. And then this is where we're going to have, like, 2 rows of machines or something. I'll think about that in a second. For now, the Dilmo cub also needs Relesia seeds as an input. So, like, we can do this sort of thing. I think that probably upgrades us to this. How many Relesia seeds? 0.64 a second. Okay. Alright, now we gotta route some fluids around, which is always the fun part, or one of the fun parts. And saline also comes over here, which of course, look at that, I couldn't have done that worse if I wanted to. Let's do, you know what, let's do this. I like that. And then hot air. What did I? Oh, no. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. And then phytoplankton, which is also gonna be... Wait, no, this doesn't need to connect to the middle. I'm an idiot. I forgot. That still connects through, just not the bad way that I had it connecting through. Okay. So now we're just waiting for phytoplankton. Oh, this can take more trains, please. Okay, and then this outputs cubs, and the cubs need to go to 32 pools that have phytoplankton and saline water coming in. All right, there's 8. And each of these is, 0.16 Dilmos for 32 pools. So that's gray inserter territory. Although none of these are going to turn on yet. And then the whole thing gets doubled. And then output of this, maybe we just do this. Maybe we just do this. So that comes back through. That's the output. All of this gets mirrored vertically. And then our 2 input fluids just kind of do this thing all the way down. And then this belt with the cubs can just loop through here. Output, output, output. And we make a whopping 0.16 Dilmos a second. Jeez. For such a big build. And I didn't run power through. Oh no. Is phytoplankton broken? I might have to check on that. Because it seems like we have everything else we need. So yeah, let's check phytoplankton. Phytoplankton's over here somewhere. It's running, but we're out. So do we just need to scale this up? Possibly. What's our phytoplankton bringing in right now? .4 tin ore to make 16 phytoplankton a second. All right. We just upgrade these to Mark IIs. We're still looking at less than a belt of tin ore. Well, I guess we just make all the machines Mark IIs, right? That's the magic of the Mark II machines, is all the ratios just kind of keep working out. But then I think we also... Do we need to upgrade any belts if we do that? 3.2 a second, 2.5. No, everything still works on the same belts. Okay. Let's do that then. Oh, and I still gotta deal with the wastewater output of this whole thing, so let's figure that out. And wastewater is a byproduct. There we go. So I think other than phytoplankton, which we might get the next delivery of phytoplankton, but this is as good to go as it's going to get. How's this doing? We're seeing a lot of Yotoi decay. Probably because this just makes way more than we actually need. Don't really know how to deal with that, though, so we're gonna let it be for now. Get all these running at full speed at least. Well, it'll help a little bit. But we're still going to have a lot of Yotoi decaying. Because this only pulls through like a third of this wood processing unit or something like that. So there's not a lot to be done. Otherwise, though, this seems like it's running fine. I don't see any meat decay so far. No jerky here. It's just the biocrud from the Yotoi. And we could probably try to be smarter about this. Either put it on a sushi belt and only keep so much in the loop, or do something like that. Yeah, not ideal. So let's go upgrade phytoplankton, and then we can also, while we're over there, well, not while we're over there. While we're out and about, we'll build the central wastewater to urea processing. I don't know if I want to switch over the existing ones to the centralized build. I don't know if it matters. Ooh, probably didn't have some of these buildings in the allow list. Oops. How long is that going to take? 4 of these. Anything crazy in the inputs? There's not a lot that's weird in the inputs. It's just we weren't ready to make them, so they didn't get made. Kind of ruins my plans. Oh, I also want to make one more domo. Which I think I took off the allow list, so I need to put them back on. Yes. And the dingrits are built, I'm assuming, so I can take them off the list. Yeah, we have 2. Is that correct? Is that all we need? 2 should be all we need for dingrits. Yes. Okay. The reason I take the animals off the allow list when I'm done bootstrapping them, and I've mentioned this before on streams, but like when I'm making an animal setup bigger, I don't want to be making those modules in creature chambers. I want to just grab them from the outputs of the existing animal build. So I want to make sure that we don't, when I drop the YAFC shopping list in here, I don't want to suddenly make dozens and dozens of some animal that we're making in a much more cheap way, because it's expensive to make things in the creature chamber. All right, well, Twitch is telling me that it's ad break o'clock, so that's good. We'll have time for them all to catch up on all these buildings while the ad break runs. I do run just the one ad break an hour, just long enough to keep pre-roll ads turned off. So I appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm going to get some water and take care of stretching my legs during the break. I recommend you do the same. Take care of yourselves as human beings, and when we're back, we'll upgrade phytoplankton, we'll do the urea void or the wastewater void, etc., etc. I'll see everybody soon. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging around. We are... What do we got? We're still not quite done with the phytoplankton farms. Ooh, are we out of... No, it's just being slow. Okay. Do I want to wait for these, or do I want to go... I mean, there's a good just chain of bots taking the outputs out of this, so they're getting made pretty quickly. Okay, we'll have these pretty shortly. We've got the Domo that we need to grab. We need to build this. Now I'm just waiting for another 4 phytoplankton farms. I think we're just waiting for, a lot of bots that have stopped to charge on the way up here. I probably need more charging infrastructure sort of along this diagonal, maybe in this area, so more bots that are coming up to the mall from all of the drop-off stations can do that, although, really, this area is going to get filled in, with more rail right here was kind of the plan. So, 2 more, 1 more, none more. Okay. Is there a robot speed boost that I can get? Work robot speed 3 is gated behind Pi-Sci 3. All right. As is cargo size 1. Ooh, we can get both of those. Oh, we also have Robot 2s available to us. Well, a couple of techs, but they need super steel. But yeah, we could potentially get Robot 2s. Ooh. Ah. That's exciting. Which ones do I have here? Yeah, Mark 4s from my quick start mod, but all right, first things first, we're going to drop off this last Delmo so that the system can start itself without me needing to supervise. All right, and once this does finally get phytoplankton, it'll be able to just make them. Next, let's go over to where we are making phytoplankton, and we'll get that all doubled up. And a lot of the places where we're currently turning wastewater into urea on site are in that area. So I think I am going to go ahead and swap those out. Because for each of those things, it is pretty much 1-to-1, right? We're making urea as an output product, and we just pull out that station, drop in a fluid output, and get rid of the evaporators. Because, yeah, around here we have fish, we have Xy eggs, we have zippers. And you know what? With hand size upgrades, I might not even need to change inserters on all this, because I built this before we had hand size upgrades. Cool. That's twice as much phytoplankton. Is twice as much going to be enough? I don't know. Maybe. At fish here, I want to get rid of this. What am I looking for? This. All right, that's one down. Now I just have to do that in like 3 other places. Let me update that whoops, here. Fish are now, we're no longer doing urea processing, so wastewater is an output from them. And I'm going to do the same thing with Xyphos and Zippier eggs. These actually share wastewater processing because I'm awful and I have them built right next to each other. So both of them are going to output, I guess, to one shared station again. And if we come up here, we should have, yeah, all of this that we need to pull out. Wait, what is this? Oh, this can still have urea output from albumin spoiling, though. Ooh, I didn't think of that. This whole antimony oxide build is defunct at this point, so I could, if I need another station here, I can put it, I can take one of these spots over here. And you know what? I think that's what I'm gonna do. If I just empty this out, we'll use this for the urea output of this stage. Because I don't think there's ever actually going to be that much in there. And then here... yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, I didn't set up void logic on the wastewater output, did I? I didn't. Okay, we need to go do that. Let's get this done first here, though. And then for a void output, do I have a fluid void nearby that I can copy and paste from? Surely somewhere. All right. So that's wastewater out of a couple of places. We still potentially make wastewater at Casein, Cotton Gut Studs, Trits. Okay. Oh, also, do we properly overflow void here? Yes. Okay. Apparently I still had some... Casein is over here, so let's fix that one. And then I may as well do Trits. So this should be the same thing. We currently have... yeah, look at that. I have it basically piped in entirely. Easy fix. Okay. And void output. Fix the void output on fish. All right. Casein is done. So it's just trits and cotton gut stud Mark IIs and train fuel. All right. And all of those are up to the northwest. So we will head up that way. We'll get those fixed up, and then I'll set up the wastewater void. And for now, the expectation is that all of our wastewater byproduct is still just going to go to the void and get turned into urea. But gives us the option now of putting it to use, making improved trees or something like that. All right, trits. Oh, right. The output for the urea is over here for some reason. Well, I know the reason, but... Because I ran out of space, that's why. Ooh, and we're also out of these tanks. Fortunately, we are right next to the mall. Oh, I already got refilled on those tanks that I need. Beautiful. And that is why I carry 20 of them. I guess I should carry 30 of them, because I use 6 in each station. That would mean that I could build 5 stations, and then I would be exactly out. But this is fine. There we go. Train fuel. The fuel station is over here. Yep, same thing. Just want to be careful about the other fluids that are in this region. That's not connected, right? That is not connected. Good. Cool. That's that one. So I think we got enough. Sitting on 11 evaporators. What a weird number. Trits, I did. Sorry, I'm fixing YAFC here. Oh, Cotton Gut Stud Mark II has one evaporator sitting at it. Okay, let's fix that. Because isn't the stud breeder, like, here? Yes. And then I guess what this means is if I feel like it, since I now have twice as many evaporators, we may as well just say, you know what? This is scaled to way too much freaking urea a second. And where am I going to build it is really the question. Do I go north here? I want to save space to be able to expand the mall, because, like, I know I'm going to need to keep bringing in new types of resources. So I'm really hesitant to ever build anything, like, down here. I don't know how much I need to keep, like, free for more mall stations. And for expanding the, like, bus portion of the mall. Because ideally, I never want to have to rebuild the damn thing again, right? That's... I mean, I could certainly just keep a horizontal stripe free for the rest of forever going across the base, but... I don't know if that's a reasonable thing to do. It doesn't feel reasonable. It feels distinctly unreasonable, but... I don't know if I have a better plan. All right, so we're going to have a single drop-off here, bringing in wastewater. You're on the Void Network. We want, I mean, sure. You are still low priority. And on this side... we will have a high throughput pickup because this is going to make 40 frickin' stuff a second. Yeah, and then the evaporators, I guess, we're going to do like... we got 20 a second. I mean, that's also still not quite enough. Because, yeah, each of these makes 3 1/3 items per second. Something like that. And then... That's ridiculous. But hopefully it works. High priority output. Oh, and actually, I probably need void logic for this. I don't know if I have a urea void, but like... certainly we can make sure that we are prepared to use it if we have it. I don't know why that pump is filtered. I don't even really need a pump there, do I? Well, I guess the pump serves a purpose here. The pump serves the purpose of making sure that when there's, like, a trickle left, this tank is emptied enough to dispatch as soon as possible. So that pump isn't useless. Although... okay, no, that's 12,000 a second. That's plenty. Yeah, I think we're done. I think this is it. Let's label this thing. Void wastewater. Oh, right. What we're labeling with is just the wastewater icon. There we go. Done. Oh, I should have put that urea in the output of that place. Okay. Oh, well. These are all fully moduled up now, right? Yes. And they are running? Yes. We are starting to get some Scrondrixes. Yeah, they're coming along the output belt. Excellent. Dilmos here. Oh, have also started to run. Okay, okay, okay. I don't see any on the output yet. Oh yeah, Protoss finished 0. So yeah, we're just about to get our first... well, I said just about. In a few minutes, we will have our first... Crafting speed is 1/4, so this is 2.5, so it's going to take 10 minutes to make the first one, and it makes 1. Yeah, it's gonna be a second before we're ready to go there. But yeah, I think that's good. I think we're, I mean, it's going to take a long time for this to get all of its modules at the rate it's going, but it'll speed up over time. And if I decide that I need more sooner, there is always the option to make them in the creature chambers, right? I don't like to do that. Wasteful, but we can definitely do it. So I think that just leaves Dingrits as the only animal left to set up. And then we just leave them all to kind of bootstrap themselves over the next several hours while we work on other things for PySci 3. So, yeah, I guess Dingrits. I guess we just jump right into them. Double check YAFC here. All of this is done because this was all related to moving wastewater processing. Oh, the guts voids are all dealt with. We don't need that anymore. Dilmos are set up. They're just going to be slow for a while until we get a few more of them. I mean, 5 times 33. How long is this actually going to take? Obviously, they will speed up over time. But 169 at 10 minutes each is 30 hours at the current rate. Obviously, we'll get up to a more reasonable number once we get the first few. And we can start a few more of the Dilmo pools running. But yeah, that just leaves Dingrits. So no, it doesn't. I never did Dingrit food. I don't think. Nope. All right, cool. We got a thing to design then. So we've got Dingrit food to make. How much do we need for the Dingrits? 0.08333. I mean, but realistically, I'm just going to scale it to 1 assembler with prod modules, because, you know, whatever the number ends up being. 0.6 times 1.2 is 0.72. Hey, there we go. And is there anything unusual here? We have Yotoi fruit, which I usually make on site because it decays pretty rapidly. So we're gonna have to make that on site. Do we want to use recipe 2? It does keep it down to a smaller number of orchards. It's just more stuff we have to bring in. Native flora, we want to mine. Yeah, that's just one flora mine. Tufras, bones, plastic, fish oil. Everything here is fine. So I think it's just a question of, like, do I want to bring in... Do I want to bring in the biomass and the ash and the fertilizer, or do I want more orchards on site? I mean, I guess this is fine. So we're bringing in 5 things. We're making a few on site. Just a lot of stuff to feed into this one assembler, but whatever. All right, let's get the shopping list. So, is there anything unusual in this? I don't think so. Obviously, I need to get 600 Yotoi. That's a whole thing, but, like, we have that floating around, right? Yeah. While we're waiting for the bots to make the rest of these buildings, I may as well go up and grab the Yotoi. I'm waiting until there's a slightly smaller number of bots that are bringing things to my inventory, because I'm sitting on... If I go now, that's going to be a bunch of bots that get... Oh, well. Bunch of bots that get redirected, but we're still waiting for, like, 200. Yeah. I don't have the patience for that. So it said 530, which means I'm going to go ahead and grab 11 stacks of Yotoi. Well, 528 was our number. 528. 528. All right. Done. And we're still waiting for some machines that I would have expected to have been mostly done by now. That looks okay. All right. Now the bots are just busy. There's a lot to deliver still, I guess. All right. Still waiting on... Still waiting on one more soil extractor, and still waiting on a couple more of the orchards. Orchards shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it's all en route. Okay. We will be on our way to actually build this momentarily. And there it is. There's the last one. I wish my bots were a little bit faster. I should really think about upgrading them. Maybe I'll schedule that stuff sooner. Like, rather than a lot of this random stuff that I'm just, like, pushing towards just for the sake of having it done. Let's grab this, and let's get this scheduled. And then there's probably a bunch of stuff we're going to have to do to actually get Super Steel ready to go. But... yeah, okay, so we also need it for blue belts. We're also going to need it for... what? Nexel. Ooh, when do I get those? Okay, that's prod. That's Roboports Mark III, sure. But yeah, the Mark II... Mark III trains are going to need... Oh, and that's not even in prod. That's just deep in Pi-Sci 3. So yeah, this is used in... Oh, it's used directly in prod science. Good to know. And in a bunch of Mark III buildings. And Mark IV buildings. Okay, so the answer is that we're going to need Super Steel for, like, a bajillion things. So I better get it going. What's the recipe? Molten stainless, niobium, titanium, silicon, cobalt oxide, vanadium pentoxide, and molybdenum. This feels like a checkpoint. Like, make sure you've gotten all of these things sufficiently automated. And I think we mostly have. We might want to ramp up vanadium. I did see that there's a vanadium processing tier 2 tech. And then beyond that, we've invested a lot in a lot of these things already. So this might be fine. This might not be difficult for us. Okay. That is something to think about as a side quest if we get sick of pushing too hard on all the progress towards Pi-Sci 3. We can get Super Steel going and start upgrading the bots. Is this? Yeah, this is everything I need for the food. Yeah, let's get the food started. Because it's going to take a minute for the food to buffer enough. And then we'll need, Let me also request up here, because the dingrits need cages. Yeah. I forgot to request those. And, well, barrels we should always already have. But cages, we're going to need to loop some cages for the Scrondrix input. So I do want to make sure that we have... I don't know. A few hundred of those. That'll, we'll just let those buffer. What's not labeled here? This is Scrondrix. And this is Dilmos. Cool. How are these going? Do we have any more yet? We have one. One is the loneliest Dilmo. All right, and now we're down from like 30 hours to bootstrap these to only like 15. Ooh, did I screw something up? I did. I did screw something up. There you go. Let's get radars in place here, if I can find them. There we go. Really? Doesn't quite reach? That's unfortunate. All right. I gotta keep an eye on this bitumen seep. Think we're gonna fit around it? Oh, apparently bitumen seeps you can build on. Okay. Never mind then. Not worried about it after all. So we'll, ooh, I don't change my mind. We're not going to do this right here. I want to leave room to potentially grow the Scrondrix build up to like, that's 3, 6, 9, like 10 machines. So we'll leave a gap. I don't know how much we're actually going to need to grow Scrondrix, but it is easy enough to leave space, so I'm going to leave space. Ooh, am I out of landfill? Nope. My bots are just busy. Or charging, I guess, not busy. Alright. That gives us a little more space to work with. Oh, and oh, that actually works out okay. Cool. I'm okay with that. So, the Dingrit food has... Ugh. A lot of stations. So we've got 6 inputs, which really has to be 2 input stations. We've got the fish oil, which is another input station. We've got the food out, and we have 2 different decay outs. For native flora decaying to biomass, and for Yotoi aloe decaying to seeds. So all in all, we're sitting at... I mean, it's 6 stations. It's not a huge number, but it's a lot for one assembly machine. 1 assembly machine and 6 train stations. It's just one of those builds. So let's start with our 2 drop-offs. And I guess our 3rd drop-off, why not? We'll do all of the drop-offs on one side and all the pickups on the other. So this one, I guess we're going to put the assembler just like right here. You're making the food. I should have prod modules for you. There we go. There we go. That's easy. So this station's going to request a bunch of stuff. Let's do jerky, bones, plastic bars, and tufras. And then this one down here only needs to bring in the gravel for the Yotoi and the guar. Oh, I'm an idiot. Here. We need native flora. I always do this. All right, this is close enough that I'll belt it. I don't love belting it, but we'll belt it. It'll work. That's what matters. Yeah. I also don't see a better spot really anywhere. Like, I could have done it up here, but we're belting that pretty far there as well. Run another horizontal out and another set of stations, I suppose. Anyway, it's fine. We'll get it done. So this needs to output the guar. Guar gum. Just like that. And otherwise, we've got to do the Yotoi. That's going to be like the biggest part of this. So let's get that figured out. So each of these makes, what, 0.13 a second? All right. Only problem with this is that it's both sides of a belt, and it might be nice to only be on one side so we can deal with, you know, put it on a sushi belt for our usual way of dealing with decay. But I'll think about that in a minute. Input-wise, we've got 2 inputs. Okay. Oh, and Twitch is telling me that it is ad break o'clock again. I'm going to go ahead and let the ad run. I do run just one ad break an hour, just long enough to keep pre-roll ads turned off. Because I don't like pre-roll ads. So I will step away and get a little bit of water during the break. As always, I recommend you do the same. Hydrate, take care of yourselves as humans. And we'll finish this up in just a few minutes. I'll see everybody soon. Oof. Okay. I'm sorry. I am gonna need to wrap up early. I am not feeling great. And there's a reason I was late coming back to my desk, and none of you want to hear the details, but I'm not feeling good. So I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm sorry about that, and I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know with what, and we'll be back on Thursday with pie. But I appreciate everybody hanging around, and I'll see y'all soon.